This tenant has lived here at least 3 years since before we bought the property, and we're checking out their unit to see how it looks after they moved out. It is an interesting unit for sure, but so far it looks pretty good. So this is an 8-plex I bought almost 3 years ago, which seems crazy. It's also got 16 garages with it. Each tenant gets a garage and a storage unit. Then we rent out the other garages separately. Not sure what that box truck was doing, but we'll check that out a little bit later. And these tenants had always paid rent on time. Never been an issue. We've had tons of other issues on this property with squatters, person who went missing, police standoff. It's been a pretty crazy property, but we're hoping this one is a little less crazy. We've also had some horrible evictions here. And just looking at it, it looks pretty darn good. Not saying the flooring looks pretty darn good, but the rest of it looks pretty okay. There's a few issues, but for the most part, we're pretty happy to see a unit look like this when a tenant moves out. So as we've owned this property and tenants have moved out, we've been remodeling the kitchen, repainting, putting in new windows, and trying to improve the property as well. You can see they did smoke in here, which was a tricky situation because the previous landlord didn't really have anything in his lease about not smoking, but we don't allow smoking, but their lease was already signed with the previous landlord, and we had some other tenants complaining about smoking, but there wasn't a whole lot we could do. Now, when we get new tenants, we can definitely change that situation. But like I said, we've been putting in new flooring, painting, and making these look much better, and then re-renting them. We've been renting them for $1,250. It's for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, plus a 1-car garage and a storage unit, as I said, in Greeley, Colorado. And overall, this unit really looks fantastic. Like I said, there's, the walls are stained, but we would repaint this unit anyway because we've been repainting all of them. That's a weird bug. I thought it might have been a roach, but I don't think it was at first. And we've been putting in new carpet, although this might not even need it. And then we'll paint the cabinets, do countertops, and that's not a tenant issue. That's our issue, making it look nicer. So really pretty happy. The fridge is clean, looks really, really good. And like I said, it's nice to see units like this instead of sometimes what we find, which is damaged, windows, counters, cabinets, flooring, all kinds of interesting issues we've run into. There was another interesting situation with this unit, and that is they said their shower was leaking. They told us, and we're able to go and fix it. We had another unit recently that went vacant, and they left a couch and bed and did not clean. Wasn't nearly as nice as this. And when we got in that unit to check it out, the shower was leaking profusely, and who knows how long it had been leaking like that. They never told us. The windows were frosted over with water because it's so humid in there. And I tell people, you've got to tell us issues. And a lot of people got mad at me, like, oh, you can't be expected for the tenants to tell you about water issues. I'm like, yes, you can. And these tenants did, like you're supposed to. So thank you, tenants. I thought the bucket in the shower, might not have been needed, but I appreciate the thoughts nonetheless. Now, the Ocho, which is what we call this building, has been fairly calm recently. A few minor issues here and there. Much better than the squatters and evictions and other stuff we had to deal with before. We have one tenant who's still left over from the previous owner. All the rest have kind of moved out. We've replaced them. And these tenants, I believe, were going to rent a single-family home. They wanted to rent from us. We didn't have any, but good for them to hopefully, have their own house. Something else that's interesting is our cameras are gone. So I had cameras up here, and they actually had stopped working, and I'd sent my guy over to look at them. He couldn't figure them out. And then the next time we come over here, they're totally gone. Someone probably threw a rock until it broke off and then stole it. So yay. So we'll probably replace those. But overall, the Ocho's been good. We'll have an update on this unit once it's all done. And if anything else goes on here, and try and figure out what the box truck is going, because I was not sure exactly what was happening right there. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back with more with our rentals, laundromats, businesses, all kinds of other stuff coming up soon.